And here we have GM Josh Glazar. He's part of organization Team Bizzle. Just dropped down to 0-5 here on the season. And here he is to answer some questions. Here we go.
All right, Team Bizzle, I got a question over here. I'm Pete Glazar from SloopItInSports.com. So after starting 0-5 out of the season, where do you stand with your team presently?
Well, the first thing we want to make clear is, the last thing we're doing is stressing out over what we have currently. Again, this team was drafted with the intention to be what it is. The record isn't what we want it to be yet, but again, we trust the process that we originally came in with it as. So we're not stressing. We think that the best path is to go forward.
Team Bizzle, Jason Iger from Fat Ass Sports. Does a strat like this motivate you to move a top player like Cooper Kupp in the league? A lot of guys are motivated to get him.
I think our mindset has kind of been the same on that type of thing, and it's the mentality of no one's safe. You always have to continuously make the team, and that's always going to be different based off the situation that the team is in. Because at the end of the day, these are assets that we're talking about, and they belong to the team. And long story short, everyone on the team is available. It's just making sure the right price is acquired.
Okay, so Team Bizzle, following on that, your mindset going in the following weeks via the trade market. Is there anything specific in mind? Are you trying to just acquire, a top running back, or are you just trying to get as much value as you can?
Again, with the modern, NFL, the modern fantasy landscape, it's less important about the straight positions. It's not that we're going in looking for positional value. We're going in making sure we find guys who are there to win a championship. And, we're no strangers to it. Again, the same process that we employed last year, to get us that championship win. It's the same one that we're going to be applying this year. And a couple of losses isn't going to discourage us.
Biz, I just wanted to ask about the mental toll that a 0-5 start has. How does it feel to just miss the mark 5 weeks in a row? Does it get defeating week in and week out losing?
Absolutely. And, it's funny because, going into this, you always know that there's a chance that you're going to, lose these couple of games. But, it's funny because you want to give the respect to your teammates. Obviously, losing, on 150-point week is nothing. You got to show respect to those who do it. And, it's just having fun with the game and realizing, it is just a game, and, you're seeing history day in, day out with these teams. So, it gets disappointing, but then you remember why you do it. And, we're athletes at the end of the day, that you got to deal with this type of thing.
Bizzle, 0-5 does a lot to a man. Tell us where you think you might have went wrong to start off the season.
Again, every single player that, has been through our doors has just been, honestly, a blessing to deal with. And we really, I really wouldn't say I'd change anything that happened. This is just the way it was supposed to go. We don't look back with regret. We just appreciate what we had.
Well, more specifically, you started 0-5.
Yeah.
That is a fact. You started 0-5. What do you think as a GM, what do you think as your job, how you could have handled that situation differently so your team wouldn't be 0-5?
I can sit here and give you 100 answers, but, I played 2 teams that dropped 150. One team I played, I had 3-4 players on my bench that each scored 20 plus, 30 plus. Sometimes you don't put in the right players, and that's just how it goes. And some weeks the better player prevails, and that's just how it goes. Unfortunate circumstances.
Josh, you brought up that you had a lot of points scored against you, but being that you are the 3rd worst team in scoring, how does it feel? With the grueling schedule of Providence Depression, Team Tuna, Team Schmeat, those are all big teams. You're gonna drop big weeks. And
yeah.
You gotta be ready for that.
And I'm glad you asked that because it's really not like us to, wish dismay on any of our opponents. And again, we've been. I wouldn't say that I even claimed that I was, in the position that you did. I don't want to, media propaganda. That's your guys' job, but I try to stay away from that type of thing. But no, honestly, the opponents we played, they've just done a great job. And, at the end of the day, we got to make the right starts. Our losses are on us, and, we're not running away from that. And we don't want anyone to get it messed up. Our losses are on us. 5 opportunities to win day in, day out when you get it done.
All right, Biz. So, which team do you see right now as your most likely chance to make a deal with? And when you're talking trades, you have guys, you're talking around the league. You guys talk around the league, obviously, you're in communication throughout the week. Just say one team right now that you think you can strike a deal with. What would you say that would be?
I mean, it's a GM's job to make sure that there's always multiple opportunities. You want to make sure that you're putting yourself in a position to really maximize what you have in a way that everyone leaves with a good sense. But if I had to say one person right now, I mean, honestly, conversations with Team Miles have been really good. Team Parker, always a pleasure to deal with. But I mean, even Team GM, the boss, making sure that I'm getting conversations in with him, because they have an interesting perspective on the league that you love to keep up with day in, day out.
Yeah, sort of going off the previous mentioned mistakes that got you this 0-5 start, would you say that drafting Elijah Mitchell was the worst pick of your draft, or was Jamar Chase's horrible start to the season cemented him as the worst player in your draft coming in the first round?
Well, listen, the thing with Jamar, and this is what we know about him moving forward, is if he hasn't done it yet, that just means that it's going to happen later in the season. And that's why, Jamar Chase, it's just players go on hot streak, especially at that young age. But, when you have young talent like that, eventually it does click. We see that year in, year out. And I'd say the Elijah Mitchell pick, again, we love having him. He's been, really getting healthy on the IR. But, again, that was a really brutal opportunity. Again, anything more, the Dak Prescott pick was one that we will claim that can't happen. Those type of picks can't happen. But, I'd say the Dak Prescott pick, but, the media, you guys do what you try, your rats and everything.
Bizzle, sleeping in sports, we want to know, where do we go from here? We're 0-5, right? We have a pretty solid base to build off of.
Yeah.
We're going to be active on the waivers. Are you pressed to make a trade this week? Or
it's the same mentality that we go in week out. We're going to find the best value deal. There's no press because I really do believe that the team we have, this is a championship level team. It's just, we need the ball to fall our way.
Yeah, just a couple more questions, guys. Let's
do you think that your zero RB strat's been talked a lot about around the league? I've personally heard different words thrown around.
Yeah.
Do you understand how it can be seen as cocky or pretty retarded to do that in the draft?
Absolutely. Yeah, and again, it is. I did wonder what the perception of that would be, and it had nothing to do with being cocky. It had nothing to do with anything. It was more just an opportunity was seen and a challenge was accepted more. And it was just like, if you can win with this, then you can do something that not a lot of fantasy managers can do. And again, it hasn't gone our way, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to disrespect the mindset that I came into it with, because we prepared, we made sure that we did the best we could to put our team at a championship level, and we don't regret it at all.
holy shit.
Josh, just one last question. Is losing starting to become a part of the culture this year?
Absolutely not. I mean, just a sustained, foundation of success. I mean, again, we're the previous champions, and again, obviously our minds off that. That's not even where our head's at in the first place. But losing is just, if anything, it's a welcome part of the experience, because again, losing to us isn't the end of the story. We're always going to respond bigger about it.
All right, one more question. Let's just wrap it up.
Last question here. So, as you know, Joshua, GM of Team Bizzle, the final punishment. It's a doozy one. A lot of people around the league are questioning its its ethics to be in the league. One team being Tuna. What are your thoughts about this punishment, man? It's getting kind of scary for your 0-5. I just want to hear your thoughts on this punishment.
Again, there's multiple school of thoughts in my head. Just the first one being, I mean, we all agreed to this, So if you go in with any type of fear, I mean, just going 0-5 doesn't scare me. I mean, again, we intend to win each week.
So I assume that going in the cage is what scares you.
Not really. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a couple minutes in a cage.
All right.
All right, and thank you, GM Josh Glazar. That's all for today. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.